Okay. And we are live-ish. Oh, well, we still can't even get into Twitter. Login.
Everyone are moving your small business from a garage to a gargantuan size, or from scrap to a skyscraper.
Okay, and we are live.
But it all starts
Just about to get into Business Express. Good morning, people.
And with the right partner by your side, achieving what you set out to
Yeah.
achieve.
Can you close the door for me, please?
Stanbic IBTC, a member of Standard Bank Group.
My name is Kayode, boss, and you're listening to Smooth Breakfast.
Studio.
Business trends beyond the headlines. Business Express on 88.1 in association with Stanbic IBTC. Stanbic IBTC, it can be.
All right, gone past 6:30 in the morning for Thursday. It is Smooth Breakfast with Kayode, Bakerr, and Sope Martins. And joining us for the next 15 minutes, we have got Rotus in the studio to discuss all that has been happening on the business front. And of course, the big news of the day, Twitter. Rotus, good morning. How's it feel?
It feels good to not have to use VPNs and all that.
To not have to travel out of the country.
Twitter. Hey, as journalists, we have a job to do, and Twitter is incredible. It's
incredibly useful. A lot of people get their news from Twitter, so it has been interesting.
It's like as we speak, I'm following the updates on Djokovic and Australia. The Australian Open has been delayed. The Prime Minister is talking right now. It's crazy. So thankfully, Twitter has reporters on ground in Australia that are giving updates up to the minute updates, so we know what's going on. And I mean, Bakerr, who I shared some tweets with you on your WhatsApp. There's been some interesting developments with the Twitter ban being lifted by the federal government. It took 6 months. The ban was initiated in June. It's now January. Bakerr, he sent some tweets. I just want to read one of them. He says, that is the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Bakerr. He said, I join the leaders of government in appreciating all Nigerians, especially the vibrant Nigerian youth who have borne with the long waits to resolve this impasse. And as the government statement clearly says, the gains made from this shared national sacrifice are immeasurable. I'm not really sure what gains he's talking about and how to measure them, because we've been here before. There was the land borders that were closed in late 2019. They did that in order to, according to them, stop smuggling of foodstuffs into the country that was affecting, food manufacturers and sellers here by impacting their margins. But it's shot up inflation, right? And prices of foodstuff increase because we get foods through the land borders from neighboring nations, right? So the impact of that, till today, they haven't told us what we gained from closing the land borders and then finally opening them up about a year later, December 2020 or so. We never saw those gains. So as far as the gains, immeasurable gains that Bakerr is talking about, we don't know what those gains are. SERAP, which is the civil advocacy group, who they've been on the president's case for a while. I shared that tweet as well on the WhatsApp platform. They said, following the decision by the Buhari administration to lift the Twitter ban from 13th January 2022, we urge President Buhari to immediately pay reparations to the victims of the illegal ban.
Oh, that's great, Rotus, because that is a great angle to come from, especially on Business Express, because a lot of people were running businesses and had clients up on Twitter. And so there were numbers that were related to daily numbers of how much was lost from the suspension, as they said it was.
Exactly. And anybody who it's a platform. Platforms now are gaining more prominence than ever, right? If you're providing a platform, Today's episode of Business Express is brought to us by Stanbic. Stanbic IBTC provides a platform for small businesses, individuals to be able to, set up payment infrastructure to receive, to get there to, what it is that they're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is a platform that allows businesses to do the same thing. So, people when they tell you, please retweet this, my next customer might be on your timeline.
Yep.
Of course, for 6 months, it's a long time. I can imagine a lot of people just gave up and either went to Instagram or sold on Facebook. There are other options, but there is damage in terms of lost business to a lot of people. So, at this point, look, then that's not, not to be too cynical here. What folks are saying is that we have elections around the corner, and Twitter was a very effective tool for the government's respective political parties to get their messages across, get voters together and so on and so forth. So I think the cynical side of this is that they realize that they're going to need to get their messages across in order to get the electioneering going. And that's why they've now decided to lift this up. Because again, the issues of what they wanted Twitter to set up an office here, have somebody who they could complain to if there's an issue. I think India is doing the same thing. There's issues around tax. Twitter setting up a presence here so they could be taxed. I haven't seen, no one's heard from, Twitter hasn't said anything. We haven't heard a single word from Twitter since the last one, the ban was put in place, and they said they will be talking with the federal government. There's been no updates. All we've been hearing is Lai Mohammed in a press conference, President Buhari on Independence Day, October 1st, 2021. Now we've got this lift off, but we haven't heard anything from them. So I don't know, again, still don't know what we've gained.
Well, we've got messages coming in, and if you want to weigh in on this or any of the other stories that we covered during Business Express, send your WhatsApp messages in to 0809 444 981. And of course, we are streaming live. And by the way, you need to catch the live stream or catch the replay, because Rotus is over there making quotation marks. So very interesting to watch him as he covers the stories. Let's go over to what you have to say. Benga Akamu says there were no gains from the Twitter ban, only losses all round. It's now possible to call out companies with shoddy customer services. Nothing is like Twitter for quick response from companies, says Benga. Whilst Ogeno Chuko says the APC government know fully well that not unbanned Twitter put the party at a big disadvantage. Oh, not unbanning Twitter put the party at a big disadvantage. It's more of a political reason than any other reason. All right.
Yeah, that's the cynical side of things. So beyond that, just to talk about fixed income for a moment, we had a Treasury bill auction yesterday. 3 tenors, I think only about 77 billion naira was offered by the Debt Management Office. 91-day, 182, 364-day bills. The subscription rates were, aside from the 364, subscriptions for the other two, and subscription is the amount of demand that they receive. So for instance, the 91-day, they offered 4.2 billion. Subscription was only 2.4 billion. So that was undersubscribed. The 182, they offered 7.4 billion, only 2.2 billion. Now the 364 bill, I think they offered 65 billion and 108 billion is what they received. The rates though, continue to be really low. The 91-day bill, stop rate is 2.5%. The 182 is 3.4. The 364 is 5.5. A 364-day bill in Ghana is 16%. And Ghana's inflation is 12%. Ghana's monetary policy rate is 14%. So if you are an investor that's looking around the African continent for the best reasons, I think with Ghana though, they've got some rules there where I don't think every foreigner can just jump in and buy their T-bills. I think you have to be a citizen or so. But if you look at the macro triggers and look at those benchmark rates, Nigeria's inflation rate is at 15.4%. Monetary policy rates 14%, I believe. And so when you've got inflation at 15% and you've got a 364-day bill at 5%, your real rate of return is not positive. So but what are you gonna do? That's one of the things that we have to deal with where things are right now. Also, The federal government offers a savings bond at the beginning of every the rate is 11.5%. Excuse me, I don't know what I got. I think I was thinking of Ghana. Nigeria's monetary policy rate is 11.5%. Excuse me. So as far as your real rate of return, it's not positive, but it is what it is. There's also a savings bond, a retail bond that the government offers at the beginning of every week. Now, if there's a public holiday and it disrupts it, they'll move it to the next week. So they offer this bond, and it's been on for a few years now. It was off, from the 10th of January 10th, and the window closes tomorrow, the 14th. Minimum to buy in is 5,000 naira, and I think it's a multiples of 1,000 naira after that. The rates are higher than.
Okay, what are we looking at?
But you have to wait a longer time because it's a 2-year bond. I think 7.5% and a 3-year bond at 8.5. Yeah. So, but I've told people in the past, even on personal finance, that the savings bonds that are offered give you recurring income because there's coupons payments that are made on these bonds. Bonds are IOUs. So if you invest money in the bond, you get returns almost every quarter, I believe. There's quarterly payments that you get back from the government. So think about it. You put 100,000 this month of January. You're going to get coupon payments, later on in the year on your initial 100,000 investment. And this is January. In February, they'll open another window for 1 week, and you can invest in another bond in March and April and May, June, July. And then each of those months that you're investing, you are getting, passive income that's coming in. The only issue is the rates. It's low. So as I've told folks in the past, it would probably be a good idea to have a portfolio mix that's got, some bonds, some treasury bills, some stocks, foreign exchange. If you're brave enough, crypto and other assets. It's a new year, so everybody has to start thinking about, getting that portfolio mix together.
Okay, let's get some messages. We've got a couple more minutes, so let's see what you have to say. Joel says, "Hi, Rotus. Please confirm the rate in Ghana again. Can I invest through my Ghanaian friends?" Jesus.
Well, you can, as long as they're citizens, they can. But then, what I think is I was talking to an investment house in Ghana. They were like, we can possibly help out. Maybe you invest with them. It's probably better to go through a broker. So, give them the money and I believe Stanbic IBTC is in Ghana as well. So I talk to Stanbic and ask them, because Stanbic is a Pan-African financial institution. They're all over the place. Stanbic.
So maybe get them on the show and see what.
Yeah. So send an email to, I think it's callme@stanbicibtc.com is the email. Call me at stanbicibtc. I'll also talk to them as well. I'll ask them. One should be able to go through a registered broker. You can go through your friends, but then you have to trust that your friend gives you your returns as they are due.
Yes, many friendships have been broken by that thing called money, so maybe not. We've got more messages, so we'll take messages to close out the show. Is that okay?
Of course, yeah, that's fine.
All right, perfect. So let's see what you have to say. Benga says, "How much is the interest on those treasury bills? Dismal. Why should I put my money in that?" Response
is, I understand where you're coming from, Benga. They're low. They're pretty low.
Okay. And we've got this one in. Yinka Bolu says, this is all about Twitter. Loads of messages coming in about Twitter. Yinka Bolu says, "You mean Garbashe tweeted? Please help me with another word for shamelessness." Whilst Dalvin says, "Twitter doesn't need anything. They are the big boys and they know we need their products. Plus, I bet they have an idea about how," he goes on to say, "how unserious the Nigerian government is." He goes on to say, "So it's a few months to election and they're lifting the ban totally. Our leaders still have a long way to go." And
Agreed.
And we've got this one in from Dimitri, who says, "You're exposed to go risk when investing in Ghana." Who else do we have?
There's always risk. There's always risk.
Yeah, there's always risk. Yes.
Always.
Pisa says the ban on Twitter was lifted ahead of elections. Full stop. Yeah. None of the demands have been met, but it doesn't matter because 2023 is almost here. Yeah. And that is all we have time for. Oh, Rotus, we're back on Twitter. Where can people find you on Twitter?
Yes. Oh, wow. It's been a long time since anyone asked me that.
I know. Do you remember?
Oh my God. Please follow me. I missed you guys tweeting me. Rotan Quotes, ROTANKWOT. And of course, at Smooth 91 FM as well. Follow us.
Don't you worry. We'll be back on the Bird app and connecting with you. Cannot wait. But till then, thank you so much, Rotus. And people, go find him up on Twitter. Okay. Coming up, we've got great music for you. Then Freshly Pressed at 7:30 right here on Smooth 98.1.
Business trends beyond the headlines.
Okay, and that is that for Business